Hello, everybody. Welcome to SCOOBYPUP'S podcast. I know I don't have my camera on right now, but I'm not using my laptop. So you're going to have to do without it, though. As you can tell, we have our guests of Stupenzo and JayViper, and of course my wonderful co-host will be coming in. Today we will be talking Ironheart versus Iron Man. So let's get started. Say hi to a few people. Sonia, Miss Sparkles, great to see you ladies. Nice house full of ladies. Rio, Zalosi. That's right, Zalosi, let's fucking go. And without further ado, let's fucking go. Let's bring in our residential Iron Man fan himself, Tony.
Oh, you're putting me on first. What are we? What are we rolling? We rolling? We're rolling. Why, hello.
Nobody knows Iron Man better than you, Mr. Stark, so welcome to the show.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to see just how many college dropouts will steal what little I got left at MIT. You know. Sorry, I just want to go ahead and I want to apologize, guys. It's my bad. I was the one that saved the universe, okay? And it's now this bad. Oh, hi, Enzo.
Also, Stupenzo.
How's it going? We're talking about Ironheart. I watched the Japanese 2014 movie. I watched the wrong one, I think.
The parody.
It wasn't even a parody because it was out before Iron Man was a thing. Ironheart was a thing. So, the Japanese prawn movie. It wasn't bad, actually.
And last but not least, JayViper.
I'm going to need a link to that movie. I'm just saying.
Yeah, likewise.
There were no subtitles.
Check it for accuracy.
Yeah.
I feel like that's important.
The
I can do
plot,
my part.
and the plot and all that good stuff.
Yeah, see if it sticks with plot lines. Is she a thief? She should totally be a thief. You know, I got to see this. I got to see this thing.
You know, that's the thing is, though, is that Japanese one probably might even be better
It
than
was
the
interesting.
show we're getting right now.
It's nothing like this. It's like a Japanese bunch of 3 armed guys show up outside in a wintry setting, and then Ironheart shows up. She's this Japanese babe, and she beats the shit out of them, like using actual like choreographed kung fu fighting. And then some general shows and like yells at her, and then she flies away. And then there's like a Mickey Rourke type character, and he like invades her lab. You know, he's got like the lightning things and everything. And he kidnaps her, he beats her, he kidnaps her, he ties her up, and then he, like, has sex with her for, like, the next 20, 30 minutes. And then she escapes and kicks his ass, and then the movie's over. It was interesting.
Well.
That sounds better than what we're getting.
Yeah, it sounds like better than what we're being served right now, for sure. How are you two fine gentlemen? Hopefully life is treating you well.
I'm good.
I'm surviving, getting over whatever illness hit me, man. I was down yesterday.
Yeah.
Allergies. I feel like a lot of people are just getting
you weren't feeling too well.
No, it's not. I don't have allergies. It's a virus. It got me.
Now, before we start getting into the meat, I do have a little extra gravy for what we're about to discuss. I'm going to roll a short for you guys and then throw a link in the chat for you guys to just roll a couple of times so we can kick it on downhill and get it back rolling. But this is about what we're about to see, guys.
Here we go. Okay. Just to let you know, your girlfriend will be bigger than Johns. Right. Bigger than Gates. Right. Bigger than Pym. Right. Bigger than Stark. Yeah. Come on.
Bigger than who? Bigger than who?
Than the guy who saved the galaxy. Bigger than him.
Bigger than who? Bigger than Jobs? Bigger than Gates? Bigger than who? Bigger than Tomato don't seem to think that, and that's the shills. That's funny.
And
It's
apparently,
really
one way to
funny.
get big like that is to steal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
This
And to be
this
a
wonderful this wonderful girl who was
Oh yeah.
kicked out of
MIT.
let's see, she was kicked
MIT?
out of MIT for selling test papers, joined a
Plagiarism?
gang, can't even control her own damn suit, and stole technology that does not belong to her.
Well, this is something I could criticize the discourse for Ironheart is like, if you're like complaining about like Ironheart like as a character, it's like, where have you been the last 9 years? This definitely was something like when she came out in the comics, it was like, what is this?
Yeah. It's funny because Disney's like, oh, by the way, we're gonna listen to you guys now. We're gonna make a character that's comic book accurate. It just had to be this one.
There
At
was
the wrong point in time.
So like, yeah, in the comics, she is motivated to just prove her teacher wrong, who's like an old white bitch who like needs to be shown up basically. So that's why like she steals the iron suit tech. Also, the other thing about like in the comics, like I forgot, like we were thinking like, oh my god, she's terrible, she's the worst. But what if like this is all setting up so she could become a villain? That would be awesome. But of course, they never did that. So of course, that was something like around 2000, like whatever, 15 or 16 or whatever the hell that was, when she was the thing. We were like speculating like that would be pretty badass actually, because she has all the makings of a villain, And the idea that you would like try to frame the show as a hero, and then she does a big heel turn. I think that would have been the only way to salvage it, and they never did that. But as far as the show itself, like, yeah, I mean, they're faithful to the source material. I'll say that much. But mostly, like, one thing I'm noticing is like the way it's filmed. Like, they think if they do this like low depth of field, low aperture look, we'll give it more grace points because it looks more professional because it was filmed on like a better camera lens. I don't like that. You get a lot of like stuff in the backgrounds, like not only blurring but like fish eyeing. You'll get these weird. It's very like a fancy, like a very expensive documentary. Is like the kind of camera they're using. It's pretentious almost.
And again, guys, there's the link to the actual short. Feel free to kick it around after the show a couple of times to get the ball back rolling over there, because YouTube likes to do this thing called cutting off your view count.
Yeah. I am glad that it is coming out in 2 weeks. I was afraid that people were going to be talking about this for, 6 straight weeks like usual. I'm so tired of that. I'd rather just wait till the show's done and just do one big live stream to talk about the garbage, at the end of the show.
Miss Sparkles brings up a very good point. In the comic, the teacher did tell Riri, women can be anything. And she points out all the scientists and stuff like that. But, Riri, she was kind of throwing a fit because she wasn't hearing what she wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Which was pretty pathetic in my eyes. Because, hey, you've been proven wrong. Sit down, shut up.
Yeah. I mean, they keep rewriting history to where, like, I see people unironically talking about how Katy Perry was, like, the first female astronaut. And I'm like, are people that dumb? Like, if they just say,
yes.
Yeah, no, I swear to God, I think I've seen it at least twice and they were being serious.
Wow.
I don't know. I feel like if you just tell someone, hey, this is the first black female superhero ever, they'll just be like, okay. They won't, and then 10 years later, they'll say, hey, this is the first black female superhero ever. And you'll be like, those same people would just be like, whatever. You're like, sure, whatever you say. They'll just repeat it.
People can just say stuff now. You just say stuff. It's true.
I think that's one of the benefits of living in the fake news AI era, because now people are getting more litigious and like double checking everything now, which is great. People are like, oh, the AI artist stuff, because now you have to fact check everything. I'm like, that's not a good thing. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah, not too bad. Just they're double checking it with AI.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Big rock.
That's one thing I loved about her suit, though. What's funny is her suit. Basically, the AI for her suit, it's basically like no, it's got like child protection on it, kind of like child locks.
Well, some interesting things about the show is I didn't watch anything. I haven't seen a whole lot of Marvel properties, save for like a handful since Endgame, you know?
Mhm.
And I watched most of those like ironically, just to see how bad they'd be. But like the shows, like fuck that noise. I'm not into the long form content. So like it has to be cool, really cool to get me in there. I got to hear from people like it's badass, go check it out. But like this movie starts and I'm like, I felt like I missed an episode, but then I remembered like, okay, I guess she shows up in Wakanda Forever, and I guess that's why I'm kind of like having to play a little bit of catch up. But it wasn't too bad. I mean, they do a good job of like trying to keep me, informed enough. But it was just like drop you in the ground running. Like you should know who this lady is by now. Also, she didn't have this ridiculous shoulder thing going on in this.
No.
No, she doesn't have that suit yet, huh? It's still some
No,
time
this
to
is
go.
apparently
This
before
is
the
from the,
events of
Wakanda
Wakanda
Forever.
Forever. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
So we're leading up into it, right? Yeah, because she's
Yeah.
still learning who she is and trying to build this suit, and yeah. So this is before that. Okay.
So Wakanda Forever, I should watch Wakanda Forever after Ironheart.
You should not watch either one.
Yeah, I was
No,
about
yeah.
to say.
There you go.
Yeah, because what's funny about her suit is the AI restricts her from doing a lot of stuff when she should be the one in control of the AI.
So in Wakanda Forever, like, she still has this Natalie AI character helping her.
Mm-hmm.
See, I thought in Wakanda Forever we get to know Natalie and see her get killed in a drive-by shooting or something, which is just such a raciously stereotypical death.
I know there's so
Dude,
much
everything
in the
about
show
this
that's racial
freaking thing is-
stereotype.
Dude, everything is like, oh, you're stealing from people. Oh, you're stealing from white people. Oh, your friend died. How'd they die? Drive-by shooting. It's just like, oh my god. Dude.
Chicago.
What did you do to make yourself feel better? Oh, you joined a gang. Okay, well that's fine.
Oh, okay. And who's the leader of the gang in Chicago? Oh, his name is the Hood. Oh, okay. Yep. Of course.
Right. It's so tone deaf.
It's unbelievable.
It's trying to be, virtuous and signaling that we're on your side. They do even worse, It's something where I heard the other day that I was like, it made me go, damn. Where it was, I can't remember who. I think it was Diversity. It was your boy Zach Richard Meyer doing a video. He was talking about how the problem with these liberal white people is they see black people as like smart pets, like that's what they fucking see them as,
Now the urge to make the meme with Nolan talking about Debbie going, I loved your mother. She was like a pet.
Yeah, like he called them like a lot of the diversity hires in the comic book days, when they started hiring these like genderless, ambiguous race ethnicities, just to be comic book writers or illustrators just because of their identity politics. That was happening a lot, and they started calling them purse puppies because it's just like, hey, we just have this cute little puppy in our purse that we barely take care of it. And the idea is like it just makes us look, hey, look how we take care of this thing, look how that's what they treat these hires like. It's the same thing with this like signal writing.
Didn't you find it so heartfelt when the real Tony Stark gave her a phone call in her bed and a totally not set up phone call? Wasn't that so touching?
I mean, obviously, publicity stunts are staged, but what was really shocking, and I don't know if it's true, but it's somewhere that he got paid $1 million just to do that. I was like, no
I wouldn't
way.
doubt it.
You know he got paid big bucks.
I wouldn't
to do
doubt
that
it.
stuff.
I assumed he was getting paid so much for Doomsday that this is kind of like in the fine print, of the contract, maybe. But shit,
It's like, hey, phone it in. Just phone in this line or two. You got this. We're literally using it for a phone call.
yeah. I mean, I know people were like pointing out Robert Downey Jr.'s got this tripod in the background, and I'm like, wouldn't be surprised at all if he just has a fucking studio in one of his rooms.
I'm
I
sure.
don't know.
I would
But yeah, I mean, obviously the publicity stunt advertisement was scripted to some degree, It just reminds me of like those old America's Funniest Home Videos where like, the guy's painting a house on a ladder and the guy rides a bike around the corner and knocks the ladder over. Oopsie. And Bob Saget's like,
Oops.
you know how we know that video's fake? Because why would you be filming a guy on a ladder painting a house?
Exactly. So many of those were fake. There were some good ones, but I feel like they weeded out the fake ones for the prize, though. I feel like they did an all right job on that.
There
Like
was
the
a
top
great,
3.
yeah. And then
You
they
can
had a
tell
great,
though,
huh?
the writing for this show though, as bad as it is, amazingly enough, I didn't realize this until much later. The people who are doing the writing for the show are the same people who did the writing for She-Hulk.
Ah,
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we
Well,
again, it's just
that makes some sense.
And
Yeah,
I
this
was like,
is-
that makes so much sense.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they're idiots and they're trying to write a genius, which is such a glaring thing when you're watching it. Because
Yeah.
she doesn't come across smart at all. She comes across as like a spoiled brat. She doesn't come across intelligent. And I'm like, well, this is the writers. And it's because whoever's writing a genius, it's what they think a genius would do. It's dummies. And it's like, oh yeah, she can bang, she can do this with like armor. And like that's her genius, is she's doing doesn't design shit. And she's like, oh, my suit is powered by wind and solar. Oh, you want to explain that at all? No, we're not going to get into that at all.
It should just be
say
nuclear. Just make it a nuclear powered suit. But yeah, it's the same
right.
thing when you have cowards writing heroes, and
Right.
you have just morally corrupt people writing positive influences and stuff. They just do it terribly. They don't know what.
Well,
there's
look at
only
Superman
one genius that
right
I
now.
can approve of
Yeah.
that is a self-destructive character type, and that's simply because I can do his voice real well. They're trying to make this bitch into Rick Sanchez, and they're fucking it up. Okay, let's just be honest for a second. Not everybody needs to make a car out of the garage because they're drunk and they feel like they need to be noticed.
But see,
Right?
Tony Stark had a little touch of Rick Sanchez. He's got this bad
Yeah,
boy element,
yeah.
so you should make Riri Williams, the opposite of that.
Doofus
Yeah.
Rick. Jerry.
Because
Nobody cares what you think, Jerry.
Because
Yeah.
let's see what Tony pointed this out earlier when I mentioned it. So we have Stark. What is he
Yes.
without his suit? In the Avengers, he says, "Playboy, philanthropist, genius."
Mhm.
Billionaire.
Tony, what is she without her suit?
A thief, a criminal, a Mary Sue, a crybaby, and a partridge in a pear tree.
And a wizard.
And a wizard.
Yeah, see, the thing is, you guys know that I watch some high octane crap on my channel. So, when I watch Ironheart, this is nothing. I'm actually watching it thinking it's actually not that bad, because I've seen some terrible, terrible shit. Like some of the positives of this show were like, I do like the idea that we're like having this like technology versus magic fight kind of thing. It's very centered around that. I like that theme-wise. I do like that they're bringing like Mephisto in and the Hood, he seems he's got just this right flair of interest, intrigue.
I think it's cheesy that they brought in Zeke Stain, Obadiah's son.
See, I didn't mind that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I was just thinking recently how I missed Jeff Bridges and, how the quaintness of the first movie, Iron Man, seeing that in the theaters for the first time and just being like, this is going to be a big deal. Like,
Yeah.
The first time I was really like, whoa, was like the first Avengers movie when you got like Captain America and Iron Man and Thor like in one frame talking to each other, and you was like, holy shit, this is like happening. And then like the second time that happened was like Civil War with the big airport fight when Spider-Man shows up. You're like, dude, this is getting hardcore. And then what's it, Infinity War? No, Endgame.
Endgame.
No, Infinity War. I'm sorry, that was the good one. the one
good
where everyone
is
dies.
Infinity War. Yeah.
That was like a trip, That was like,
And not since The Empire Strikes Back have we seen such a good cliffhanger bad guy ending. Like,
yeah, I'm in the boat where I think that for the snap, they should have waited 5 years to make Endgame. Or not make it, release it. Seriously, just sit on it, not release anything for 5 years.
let everybody
and then 5
just
years
stew
later
on it. Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
Gnarly.
I think
you could have produced the film and have it sitting in the vault. I mean, they do that anyway with a lot of this stuff. Ironheart was long since done filming before they released it.
I think
That's what a lot of people don't know is they have these things on the shelves and they schedule them for release.
Yeah, I think what it is not only that is the concept of Ironheart is a good one. However, the way the way they released it, the way it's written,
Yeah.
is not.
I mean,
a lot of people seem to want the version of Ironheart that is Stark's daughter.
Mhm.
And personally, that's the version I would have liked to have seen.
did they ever do that in the comics? Stark's daughter?
No, I don't think they did.
Because that would be sick. That would be
Like,
Yeah, I
honestly.
think Stark's daughter
There
would
was
be great.
Arno Stark. There was Arno Stark, but that was Tony's brother and alien half brother, I should say.
What the fuck? See, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I don't want to know. How
Yeah, well, that's
that.
like not. I think it's Bronze Age.
His
stuff.
mom fucked an alien. Is that what? Is that what I'm
Yeah,
understanding?
I would
it's
love
weird.
to see.
It's pretty weird.
I would love to see an Ironheart version, but as Stark's daughter. I think that would
Yeah,
be
that
cool.
actually makes sense. I don't know why I've never heard that before. It's
I
like,
mean, as
okay.
it is in Endgame, you see her pop out of the tent wearing
Yeah.
her mother's
Helmet.
Dude,
helmet.
another thing, the actress who plays Natalie, I thought she should have been Ironheart. She seems to be, she's like the attractive one in the cast. She's like the one that seems to have, I mean, I don't know if she's a good actress or if she's just better to look at, but like, I feel like there should have been a role swap here with the actress who plays Riwi and the actress who plays Natalie.
But that goes against one of the boxes that they have to check. Your chicks need to be ugly in order to be the star.
Well,
yeah, I actually find Natalie so much more appealing, like even as a character and written better.
Yeah,
like entirely better. Yeah, I felt the same way. I'm like, I liked this chick way more.
I would say Natalie is probably the highlight of the show, even though she's very obnoxious. But
even though I think the AI Natalie, she did have one part where I thought it was funny. I forget who she was talking about, but she was like, "You don't know him," and she was clapping her hand each time she said it to emphasize a point. And Rivi just responds, "Don't you clap at me."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like the idea that this show is, because like I've watched stuff that is, you feel no joy, you feel like the whole thing is draining you. It's, this is not that. There are parts where even if you're laughing at it, this has a little bit of entertainment value. The problem is like everything has to be this crappy long form content, because it's so easy to just write something to be 6 hours long, because like you're fucking terrible at writing. It's hard to like trim the fat and get it to that 2 hour runtime. It's a lot harder to tell this like perfect, concise 3-act story that doesn't end on a big cliffhanger and resolves everything. It's so much harder to do that. And also, it looks worse on your streaming platform when you have less hours of content. So just make it everything 6 hours long. It's just, or I guess like it's like 5 hours, something, 5 and change. But
as far as draining goes, though, episode 1 was so hard to get through. It took me 2 days to watch episode 1. I was like, oh my, it was so bad.
Yeah, these things are like so slow to get through.
Yeah, I had to do it in three different parts. I had to watch in 3 parts to get through episode 1.
Damn. See, I might have been giving it more leeway because I was under the impression that I'm supposed to be confused because I haven't seen anything about this woman in the show. So I'm just like, whatever. Just roll.
Wallace's making some points here. Supervillain, and if they made her a supervillain, it would be fine. She's not a hero on any level. That's right.
Yeah.
She's a criminal. She's a college dropout. She's hey, look at me. I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Attention.
She's a murderer.
A murderer, and a sorcerer, and a dark magic user.
See, people were like laughing at that in the comment when the show was coming out. They're like, "Oh, look, her suit runs on magic or something," and I'm like, actually, that is a better explanation that she's using magic to do an Iron Man suit, as opposed to the fact that she's smarter than the fact.
Right.
It's it's more racism where like the people that write this show, like. They want black people in their shows, but they want black people to be like how they'd like to perceive them. So they like to perceive them as either nerds, smart, extremely intelligent, or effeminate, gay, because there can never be any like masculine, tough black dudes. They want more black guys, but no more like no Samuel Jacksons, no.
Why do you think Blade hasn't been made yet? We're still waiting on that movie.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to make it.
Like I said, the people who are writing who are writing Ironheart are the same people who did She-Hulk. What happened in She-Hulk? It was the same kind of crap. It's Mary Sue, they were trying to push an agenda. It was the same kind of crap, and it did not turn out well.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's like they're just projecting. Like, they teach the comic books of the early days are to like, teach little kids to stop being little hell raisers, like, hey, this is how you be a good person. Whereas like,
She's
they're
a hellraiser.
they're trying to motivate you to be better. They're great little kids, stories for kids to like help, be better. And not just comic books, like a lot of like young adult stories are about that. But like with the racism is like, hey, black people, you know what's cool? Like studying in school and getting good grades and being real smart. Like that's what they keep projecting onto black people specifically. And it's like, God, you're being racist. You're saying they're stupid.
It's like, oh, so this person's black. I guess they know voodoo all of a sudden because why not?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's same thing with like Chinese people throwing fireballs, and I mean that's hilarious.
Oh, well, I mean, but there's some movies that know that is a thing, and then they play off of the camp of it. Okay,
she has dead eyes.
None of this is supposed to happen so you could get it, Mr. Jack Button. Okay.
Yeah, the dead eyes I think would also help why this actress could have been the Natalie robot AI.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the Hood is the actor who plays the Hood is fine. I love the glow up they did to Slug. Turning Slug from like a big fat white arms dealer to drag queen super hacker extraordinaire.
Dude, they wasted no time putting that dude on screen either. It was like boom. I was like, oh man.
What I love is I don't know if you guys know any real drag queens. But yeah, they are always like so conceited. They always act like they're fucking like Mariah Carey, even though you basically just lip sync on stage. Like relax, all right? Now, from what I understand, this actor is from RuPaul's drag show.
Yeah. Right?
And this is their first time being in a scripted television thing. That's not something you should brag about, That's like saying, we've got the fucking who's the Jersey Shore asshole? The Situation.
Which one?
We got the Situation in his first, speaking role in a show. It's like that doesn't what? I don't like that. Even if he's just playing himself,
Then again, for the show though, people like Disney's saying it's being review bombed. But the thing is it really being review bombed? Because every time a show does bad, they say, "Oh, it's being review bombed." Well, I don't think so in this case. I mean, if you look on IMDb, if you look on Metacritic, if you look on Rotten Tomatoes, it is not doing well at all.
Not doing well, and there's way too many 10s. So you telling me it's being review bombed while it's getting all those 10s? It's like 20-something% are 10s.
Yeah,
this show ain't a 10 either. So
yeah, exactly.
You got IMDb; it's got 3 out of 10. You get to you go to Rotten Tomatoes, 59% negative, 74% positive.
Oh, they've updated it since my short.
Updated it.
They wiped out a bunch of those. Yeah, they wiped out a bunch of those reviews.
Yeah, Disney,
And in Metacritic, it's gotten 47 out of 100.
On which one?
Metacritic.
Metacritic, yeah. 47, I mean, that's high to me.
And then, of course, you compare that to
background radio.
Yeah, and if you compare that to Iron Man, which gets first movie was 91% positive, 94% tomato fresh.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 for some of the other movies. I mean, and like Iron Man 2 also. Iron Man 3 got
was
78.
Yeah.
79%.
Yeah.
I mean, they did far better.
Well, what's interesting is like you're seeing because like the discourse is getting out of hand where it is technically being review bombed. I'm seeing people like giving it 1-star reviews like 20 minutes after it's released. You're like, you didn't watch it.
Right.
And you're saying it's the worst thing in the world. It isn't. It's not even the worst thing
it's
Marvel's
not.
made. But like you're seeing a lot of 1s and a lot of 10s, and it's just culture war. Just like, there's more of us than you. It's really just a popularity contest over who has more siding with, more voting for it. But like, also the same. But what's really interesting is you're seeing a lot of these, bigger review companies like giving it 5s and saying it's mid. But it's like, okay, you're admitting it's not great. But then like you were lying like on previous movies that are worse than this. And these technically have like higher scores because like everyone's just being so disingenuous for this culture war shit, just watch it and tell us like how bad it was, how good it was, like be honest. It's not gonna also, obsessing over budget and box office and all that stuff. I don't really give a shit about that because like plenty of great movies didn't make money. Plenty of awful movies bank it. So just really like if you watched it and it sucks, like by all means, like tell us why.
As far as I'm concerned, if you're good, given a decent budget, at least try and make it a lot better than what you're giving us.
I mean, it's the writers they hire. The writers kill shows. Writers kill shows. Look at Veilguard, same thing. Killed the game. Writers killed the game. Dude. The writers killed this freaking show. And like it's funny we're talking about like the culture war. Like it is the 1s versus the 10s. Like when you look at IMDb, 9.1 thousand people reviewed it as a 1. Like there's 18,000 reviews and 3.9 thousand gave it a 10.
Yeah.
So, this is the thing is I think a lot of times it does end up finding like its level. Like right now it's 3.7. That's right about correct. Right? That's pretty much where I'd put the show. So I feel like even though this happens, it generally finds its level.
It balances out. Yeah, the life finds a way.
Can the show get better? I mean, it depends. A lot has to happen in order for it to get better. But where it stands right now, I don't think so.
Let's say the next 3 episodes drop and it actually starts getting good. It's going to be one of those things like, well, then why did we have the first 3 episodes? Why didn't you just make us like a nice, tight hour-and-a-half movie where, like, why, So, I mean,
like right now it's kind of like in a corner.
Yeah.
You put the character in a corner now. How are you going to get this corner? You're going to get this character out and make her look good.
Well, again,
what if they actually do something interesting and heel turn her in the show?
That would be cool, but
make her a bad guy. Make her the bad guy that everybody's already saying she is.
I was reminded of the comic where she declares herself queen of. She invades Latveria and declares herself queen of Latveria just because, like, she's not a good person in the comics, even though they keep trying to portray her as one. But what's also, kind of what we're talking about, these writers, diversity hire writers. The problem is, it's not that they're, the problem is, like, most of these people are young and they have no real life experience to draw upon. This is why, like, John Milius, wrote he's like director of Red Dawn, and he wrote what some other movie. I can't remember. He's hardcore, like, he's had kids, he's been to war, he's one of those guys. He's just he's done things with his life. This is why he can come up with some interesting stories. Whereas like most of the new writers, they spend all their times, going to clubs and just hanging out in fucking internet cafes or whatever the hell they do. I don't know, cafes with their laptops, going to brunch. Like that's all they know how to do.
Working from home, not actually working in a group, not actually like talking to each other. I mean, that's pretty
we were
much...
talking about Pixar, like what happened with the drop of quality in Pixar, and we're like specifically John Lasseter getting Me Too'd for hugging people and getting thrown out, and then they started letting all these like multicultural women just show up and just writing because they're women. Like, we need to give this woman a chance. How about have her submit a script like everybody else, and if it's the best, we'll fund it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Although I will say Inside Out 2 is good. I will give it that.
Inside Out 2 was okay.
It was solid. It was a good follow-up. It wasn't going to be Inside Out 1. But it was pretty good.
I was not a fan of the first one, so I did give the second one a chance. But everyone said the second one's great.
Yeah, if I want to watch an inside the body perspective movie, I'll just go with Osmosis Jones. Okay, thanks.
See, I'm still in the boat that The Incredibles is the best Pixar movie because it was the first one with like no talking animals and shit and superheroes. It's like it's the best Fantastic Four movie we've ever gotten. You know,
But yeah, big fan of The Incredibles. Yeah,
it rocks.
it does.
But yeah, like the first 4 or 5 Pixar movies were getting like progressively better, and it's because they had John Lasseter and a bunch of like experienced like men, you know, who've done things with their lives, writing these stories together and like constantly rewriting and editing and going through several drafts. That's something that I feel like modern scripts do not do.
They do not. They definitely don't. They kind of like get it out there like, well, we liked all this and that. Well, we can't change anything, and there it is. They don't do the rewrites.
Yeah, and the other thing they don't do is like, you have a guy who's like, you know what, I really want to tell the story of Ironheart. I'm gonna come up with a spec script, and a treatment, and just pitch it and see if it gets picked up, because it's something that I know about and I want to write about. What they actually do is like, hey, Johnson, we need an Ironheart script by next week. And he's like,
dude, that's
I don't know what that is.
absolutely right. No, you're right. They put them on those timelines. I'm sure of it. I don't think they even get really proper outlines out there. I feel like they just mostly just start writing and don't have outlines or real like forward thought process other than note taking. Yeah, I don't think they do outlines.
Well, because I think another reason why they don't spend too much time like editing and rewriting is because they know once it's submitted, that script from there is going to get heavily edited by a committee of producers and test audiences and all that stuff. So like that's probably another reason why they don't spend so much time, editing and honing it in, because they know it's going to get changed.
Maybe.
You also got to remember this show was long overdue. It was postponed for quite a while. I think for about a year or two.
Was it supposed to come out before Wakanda Forever, or?
I think so, or at least around the same time. But it did get postponed for a while. But the way they just go about her character, I mean, it's like she uses stolen technology. Okay. Anything individual about her, that she can scream, hey, like, okay, you got Tony.
Yes.
Arc reactor, right?
Yes. The arc reactor, palladium.
Yes. And in Wakanda Forever, didn't they say she was like stealing that stuff?
In Wakanda Forever, she was stealing Wakandan technology. Now, Wakandan technology uses vibranium as its means of power source, armor type. Vibranium apparently in the MCU is a little bit more potent than nth metal in the DC universe. So, versus where it was more like an adamantium-like substance in their version of the comics. Point is, though, is for somebody to make a vibranium element out of a particle accelerator in their garage, because according to Jarvis's databanks, he didn't know what platinum was at the time. That was to be assumed to be vibranium, whereas with Tony's always built stuff without spending money. Like that was the whole concept of Iron Man was, okay, I'm in a cave. I'm captured by these fundamentalist guys. I have stuff lying around. I just need to take stuff out of that stuff to build stuff.
But how
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
But Riri Williams needs money. She needs money. I'm so smart, but I need money so that I can get the resources to do this stuff. I need money.
How else is she to
money.
surpass him? She must have the money and the stuff.
She got a grant.
Well, what's really interesting is like, the problem I have is like, if you try to describe the characters, it's like the red letter media thing. Describe the character without, listing their position or their job or what they look like or what they do in the show. Describe them based only on their personality. Like Tony Stark, he's very full of himself. He's a little rowdy. He's kind of wild card. He's very smart. He's super
You're making me
intelligent.
blush. Stop.
But then, like Riri Williams, like describe her. It's the same shit. She's kind of rough on the edges. She's a little spunky. She's rowdy. She's full of herself. She's super smart. It's like she's the same thing. There's literally no
Ah.
difference.
No. Tony did a complete and total utter turnaround, though.
Yeah,
He was a
Tony has an arc.
philanthropist. He was a philanthropist. He was a genius. But he wasn't a thug or anything like
Well, he
that.
starts out as an arms dealer and quickly becomes a hero. You know, he's like, there's a heel turn there,
He's just
reverse of a
running
heel
his
turn.
dad's company, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And after everything that's going on, he tried to shut down the weapons division. All this shit that's going on, her joining a gang and stuff, is she so much as even making the effort to leave the gang that she's in? No.
Yeah, the big problem with her also, she seems to be a psychopath because she has no she doesn't seem to be two-phased. She gets a couple people killed, you know.
Yeah.
That
directly.
truck, that delivery truck. Obviously, that was supposed to be some callback to whenever Jeff Bridges picked up the car and was going to throw it in the Ironmonger suit, but she just literally just jackknives it in the front. She says, "You know what? Screw the people in this vehicle. They're dead. I'm stopping them dead in the tracks."
I don't remember them dying. When was this? I missed this piece. Did I
It's the
look
truck.
away?
The truck where she comes down in the suit and stops the truck dead on. You know, the people that was in that truck's dead, right?
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
No,
you know
but
what I'm saying?
she-
It's the same.
she-
It's the same concept as like with Batman killing.
But she does
Batman
get like a
versus
cop
Superman.
shot,
Yeah.
and she does literally directly kill that one guy by leaving him
Yeah.
in that gas
Yeah,
chamber.
that was the
Mhm.
murder, straight up.
Yeah, that
It
was the
was
murder.
like, all right.
But the only thing I give her on that one is he was trying to kill him. So
Right.
she was like, "Fuck yourself," and left them shut in there. But I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like like if you're gonna make her super ghetto, like go hard with it. Like make her extremely ghetto.
Yeah.
Like dropping N bombs and shit. And
Make
brutal
it like
teeth,
CJ from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Fuck you, punk ass bitch! Pow, 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 pow.
They always gotta make her like there's a specific part where like her and Natalie are like sitting in a field of grass somewhere, like on a field, like in a park or something, and she's like, "Here's a plane," and she could tell what plane it is from just hearing it. That was like like you constantly have to keep reminding you that she's super smart.
Because they can't write her smart. They just have little
Right.
bits to remind you because they're like, okay, what can we do in the park to remember? You gotta remember to make her look smart because we don't know how to write. Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
so the
tell
thing
what a
is, like,
plane is.
they show, like, okay, she gets trapped in an elevator full of gas. It's a test.
Yeah.
And she figures out, like, I'm going to just open the elevator door. Again, this is
I'm just gonna use
This
brute
is not
strength
smart
instead of.
writing.
yeah, you're just showing that she's good at solving, like, some kind of physics puzzle or something, like, actual intelligence is, like, problem solving and, Tony Stark, we learn he's a genius when he builds that suit in a cave. You're like, okay, he builds the arc reactor for his chest,
Miniature one, yeah.
Yeah, they show these things, and it's absurd. It's obviously like science fiction, comic book, mumbo jumbo. But the idea is they show you this guy's a super genius. You can't.
He opened an
comprehend.
elevator though.
Yeah.
Come on,
Real
he opened
Star
an
Wars
elevator.
Marvel purist. This guy knows his comics and his old lore Star
Yeah.
Wars novels. Great guy. If you've not met him, he's good stuff.
Yeah, and there's that awful stuff where she talks about like I want to be iconic, and obviously the lack of insight there. If you were going to be iconic, you obviously wouldn't be a derivative of a existing character. But yeah,
And then,
her
of
whole
course-
motivation is just selfish and silly, and I don't know, it's not good.
Now, this, on the other hand, is good writing.
Hey now, what's
I mean-
that? A character arc reactor?
Yeah.
It's just-
Yeah,
I mean,
know a
he
lot of
went
people have
from-
a lot of problem with the end game, and I know.
I
it's
mean,
not,
he went from being he did go from being very stuck up rich boy, but he was very smart, built all those scraps and everything, and he was a little bit full of himself, but he had fun with it as well. He wasn't an asshole about it. From the very moment that he became Iron Man, he was good about everything he did. He tried to destroy all the arms that his company had built. He tried to shut down the arms factory for Stark. And what happens in the very end for him? He ends up sacrificing his own life for the entire world. I don't see Riri even coming close to doing that.
Well, if she did by the end of it all, that'd be something. But yeah, no, she doesn't.
If she did that, then I would be screaming, "Copycat! Copycat!"
No, that too. Yeah, like
Riri.
the best thing to do on a storytelling point of view is to just have her become a villain. That'd be awesome. But then again, even as a supervillain, she wouldn't be that powerful or threatening unless she did somehow become like, get involved in the magic, like sign a deal with Mephisto, get like satanic demon powers or something. Now we're talking, like, now we're cooking with gas. Like this is, but of course the idea is you don't want to upset the people that Riri is, made for. Stupid people. Yeah, stupid people who can only look at, objective exterior qualifications.
There was this. I can't remember the name of what kind of diagram it is, but it had 4 examples. It was a smart show written by smart people for smart audiences. Then there was a dumb show written by dumb people about smart people. Like it was. I can't remember the name of those kind of comparisons and contrasts right offhand, but it had like Dexter's Laboratory, Big Bang Theory, and 2 other shows. And it was like this, just like, oh yeah, this is a show about smart people for dumb people, right? Et cetera, et cetera. But like this show, Ironheart, falls into a show about smart people written by dumb people for dumb people.
Pretty much.
Yeah, because there's no...
it's Big Bang Theory, just black.
Like a smart movie for smart people about smart people would be like Primer,
Or House MD.
I can't even wrap my head around Primer, and you have to watch it like a dozen times to finally get it. It's like Jesus, this is complicated. So yeah, I mean Ironheart, like I said, it's not even close to the worst. I would say She-Hulk was way worse.
Yeah.
Right.
No, She-Hulk didn't know what an overarching plot was. If it would
She-Hulk was also a missed opportunity because we've seen She-Hulk done correctly. Like Ironheart, like I said, like everyone's like talking about how like Ironheart, she's a thief, and it's like yes, she's always been a thief from 9 years ago in the comics. So I mean, obviously that's annoying, but yes, that is accurate to the comics.
Who sold plagiarized papers.
And
stole the suit from MIT. It's like the list goes on for her.
Yeah.
And I honestly agree with you guys that if she was a villain, that would be awesome. But I've actually heard some people say, oh, she's the first Iron Man-like character. No.
Not even.
No, in Endgame, we had Pepper Potts. She did appear in an Iron Man suit that was made for her.
She appeared in a very sleek version of Rescue. Now, Rescue, originally, that armor was designed to be a medical unit and a repair unit. The whole point behind Rescue is if Tony got in trouble and needed a spare part or he had an injury, Pepper would deploy in Rescue to perform the rescue, pretty much, and fix Tony's problem and then back out. Rescue is never meant to be an assault unit like most of Tony's other suits. And this is perfect. If you don't mind, I will read this by Purist. He says, instead of doing a proper Doctor Doom interpretation in live action that hasn't been done, which is technocracy or technomancy, science and magic, they're instead going with the premiere that skill sets with Riri and gives us Doctor Doom at the end of his story arc, which is God Emperor Doom. Instead of properly building his character and giving the proper respect for Secret Wars. Absolutely on the nose.
Bravo.
On the nose. On the nose.
All right. Definitely.
Is the Black Widow standalone movie worse than Ironheart?
No.
No.
Is it anything to write home about? Also, no.
No, I haven't seen the Black Widow movie. I'm asking.
The funny thing is, though, is She-Hulk got more positive reviews than Ms. Marvel did.
That's what I was saying was interesting, is I think we're seeing this point where like the media is done gaslighting us for Marvel because they're losing like credibility points. Because Disney's like, hey, you got to give us good reviews, and they're like, the more we do that, like our worth plummets. So there's a certain point where like people are like, no more, we're not listening to you anymore, Disney. We're going.
Yeah,
to say
IGN dropping a 5 was kind of surprising.
Right.
I'm so used to them dropping 7s. I was like, oh, this is an actual score. And I feel like they could have gone lower, but hey, and that's something. It's the first steps here.
Yeah, like 5
That
would be
average score.
But then again, you know, like I said, it's difficult to give it an actual official rating like halfway through. Like I said, it could pivot and get real crazy. Who knows? I don't know.
Now here's a question.
Like, I doubt it because I haven't seen a single thing from Marvel that was worth a shit. I watched the Witch stuff. That was bad.
Oh, that was Scarlet Witch. I thought that was bad too. I was why are people so hyped for this?
Yeah, but also what was worse than that was Agatha. I watched Agatha like as
I'm
a joke.
sorry.
Oh, God.
That was like
horrible.
If we're acting like, you know, oh my God, Ironheart, worst thing in the world. It's like, do you not remember like earlier fucking last year, like few months ago, like
and
less
that's
than a
getting
year
another
ago?
season, I think.
Agatha is getting renewed for another season. The only thing I didn't like about what they did with Wanda is they wasted the potential of somebody who could have phenomenal cosmic powers, which is what she has. I mean, the House of M arc is one of the best X-Men stories of all time, and it starts with her going no more mutants. And so they could have done something like that, where she could have been like, no more Avengers. Imagine if they took that concept with Wanda and she just had, you know, she was so heartbroken over stuff, over Vision, and she just said, no more Avengers. Then you would have had an entirely different movie on a what if storyline where everything would be actually riddled and in shit because the Avengers were never around. They could have done the exact same thing they did with House of M. But did they do that? No, they did not. Instead, they wanted to use the great Sam Raimi and then tell him, you can't do this, do this, do this, do this, or this. But these are all of Raimi's best things. But you can't do them. You can't. So dumb.
Question is now, if it was the other way around, if we were introduced to Ironheart first and then Tony Stark next, what do you think would be do you think it would be still the same reaction?
You're talking about in the actual timeline, like the timeline was changed and she was more Stark?
No, I'm talking about
she's talking about the No More
movie-wise,
Avengers.
MCU.
There would still be Iron Man. There would still be Captain America. He may have never been found. You never know. Like the possibilities are endless with the concept of no more Avengers. Like, you know,
they
just
had
like
introduced us to, like MCU wise, if they had introduced us to Ironheart first and then started up with the Iron Man stuff, like the movies and all that and everything, do you think your point of view on everything would be completely, totally, and utterly different? Or would you still favor Stark more than Riri?
No one would have seen the Ironheart movie. It would not have kickstarted the MCU.
No.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, that's
think
why
that
the first several phases were very, you know, that was like my big criticism with the Marvel movies was they were too similar. Like it was very impressive how they were all like tonally, visually, and audio wise, like music wise, they were all very consistent, which was crazy. But I was kind of hoping to get more, you know, variety and experimentation with direction and stuff. But no, they were literally trying to make it all look the same. And now they're trying to get all like fancy with it, you know, with like, it's just like, ugh, I don't know.
Now they are trying to get more variety and direction stuff. And look what's happening. It's all going downhill.
Yeah, it seems in hindsight, you realize like it was a good idea to keep everything visually and tonally consistent because like it's too hard. Also, like the homework assignments, people are over that shit. They're like, hey, if you want to watch Ironheart, you got to watch this, and it's like 100 hours worth of shit. It's like, nope, nope. There's too much Marvel crap. It's just there's too much cape shit. It's all becoming so stale, and it's all just losing its core value of like pushing actual heroics. You know, like you don't ever see these people do actual like heroic shit.
No.
Save the day.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, except for like in the early movies. That's the in the early movies. Those are the only time where you actually see them save the day.
Yeah, it's always like you gotta. It's never like save, like put shit on the line to save people. It's always like
Right.
we gotta turn off the thing before it kills everybody. And it's like, okay, but that's not really heroics. I mean, it is. You're saving the day, but it's not. It's not that conceptually, morally, that interesting.
Right.
It's like obviously we're gonna turn off the fucking kill death machine. Like obviously that's the goal. Like obviously. It's like turn off the kill death machine, or let these friends die over here. That's like kind of more where we're talking. These morality tales. Those are always more interesting. It's like Star Trek, TNG. Star Trek, just the show in general. Just a lot of great, leaves audiences pondering and stuff.
Because I mean, you had She-Hulk. It was women are amazing. Look what women can do. They can do just about anything.
Name a woman that can transform into a big green rage monster.
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
Yeah, they're also they're also like it's to the
What,
point
what
where
I'm
so
what
many.
I'm saying is for She-Hulk and Ironheart, the writers, they seem to be doing the same thing for both shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Marvel, there's so much Marvel stuff out there that Marvel's basically like accidentally plagiarizing itself all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, I like the end of Doctor Strange, because it was like, you got to go kill the big bad guy. And he's like, what does he do? He beats him with like a riddle or some shit, Like that was cool.
Mhm.
Like, that was neat. Thinking outside the box, he beats him with like a time paradox. Like that was great. Like you don't have to actually fight the bad guy all the time.
I got a kudos for Star Wars Marvel purist on here. They improperly set up genre-based mini-sagas, which could have been refreshing, but all the DEI hires and stories instead. Multiverse also, never a good idea.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, like we were talking about how, they should have taken a 5-year break after Endgame or Infinity War. But
People would have stewed on that.
But like
so good.
something else they talked about was like just focus only on like street level Marvel characters for a while.
That's
like,
what they
bring
did
it
with
down.
Defenders, and it was mostly okay. I mean, I didn't like Iron Fist, but I
Well,
love
that's kind of what Netflix
Luke,
was doing
Jessica, and
early.
Daredevil.
Before Disney started doing the Marvel streaming content, Netflix was doing it. Netflix had the Daredevil show and the Punisher and the lady and the Chinese guy. I don't remember.
Alias.
Yeah, not Alias.
That's her
what's
name.
Her name?
Her superhero
No.
name. Jessica Jones was Alias.
Oh, okay. Good to know. But yeah, like that stuff seemed fun because it was more like, street level, stripped down. That was that was fine. People needed to take a break from the superhero stuff. To where it's to the point where like there's so much that like now Superman's coming out, nobody gives a shit, and that's
Not even real super. It's not my Superman. Anyway.
Yeah, it is. It is one thing. When I had Culture Casino on here, just like Tony said, we're at the point where it's kind of like we are getting towards superhero fatigue.
Time for reboots. Let's start it all over again.
Yeah, I mean they are doing that with like X-Men.
Cue the
Yes.
reboot opener. Hi, I'm Enzo, and I am from the mainframe. Sorry.
Bring back reboot. Yeah.
Reboot, yeah.
Yeah, do a reboot live action movie for some reason. Like, yeah, what we don't like. Why are you like? That's the other thing. We're gonna make all these live action adaptations of all this beloved shit, or we're gonna do all these remakes of these amazing classics. Like, fucking remake. I was talking about like turn the movie Full Eclipse, where Mario Van Peebles is like a crime-fighting werewolf. Remake that. Remake that. Something stupid that could be better.
I mean, like, if they're going to do some of these shows that are already turning out bad as it is already, then at least make some that are meant to be bad.
Yeah. Like I said,
I would love to see some that are actually meant to be stupid or bad. I would actually sit down and watch them.
imagine if this show Ironheart had like "Don't Be a Menace" to South Central like style humor. Like this show, we would be like raving about how this is like the fucking best thing Marvel's made in a while. You know, it's hilarious. You know, she's so ghetto. It's fucking funny. You know, like that would have been great. She holds her blaster sideways and all this stuff. You know, like yeah, that would be great.
Get the Wayans brothers to make it.
They would make it. They would do a good job with it, dude.
Yeah.
That would have been way better.
She's got like her grill can do some cool like sci-fi stuff, you know, and
That's her arc reactor, right?
yeah,
Right
it's a
there.
fucking grill.
Got it right there.
Yeah.
Shit, that'd been fun. Missed opportunities, and
Yes.
yeah, turning her into a villain also missed opportunity.
I mean, they make Tony. They make him epic. Look like great guy. Playboy, philanthropist, genius. Her
Alcoholic.
Oh, stop, dude.
her ghetto thief wizard.
In the ghetto. Casting
Who-
spells in the
Who
ghetto.
can't even stay in college because she was selling test papers.
Yeah, this kind of story should have been what Iron Man 3 was supposed to be, where now we're starting to introduce magic into the scenario with the what's his name, the mandolin.
In the Mandarin.
The
Mandarin.
Mandarin, yeah.
I'm like a mandolin. That's not it.
You know, you go from somebody who has 10 rings that are, for the lack of the better word, it compete with the Infinity Stones with power. 10 rings, the alien artifacts themselves, each had a power that was very much Infinity Gem. Let me reiterate, Infinity Gem like. They had a way to manipulate something on a level to where the user and the wearer could just do it, and there was no resistances to it. And he had 10 of them. He was, for lack of the better word, the definition of space wizard. And they totally shit on that. They shit on that
Eternals.
with Iron Man 3.
And you had Ben Kingsley playing him too, which is like a big
yeah.
deal. You had fucking Gandhi, Academy Award winner, Sexy Beast. You had Sexy Beast, and you know. I guess I mean, as an actor, like that was a more interesting thing to probably perform. That was probably fun for Ben Kingsley to do that character, the Mandarin. And I'm sure he doesn't care. I don't fucking think Ben Kingsley reads Marvel comics. You know, like
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Didn't they?
Yeah.
Didn't they give? Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they give the Mandarin his own show?
no.
I don't
No.
It would have
think
been
so.
amazing if Ben
It
Kingsley.
would. It
had
would
a
actually
fucking-
it would be amazing.
Ben Kingsley has a Disney streaming platform where he plays the Mandarin from Iron Man 3. He's like a fucking washed up actor guy, whatever the hell. That'd be crazy. I'm into it.
Purist goes on to say, I had no problem with the modernization Middle Eastern terrorist version of Mandarin. It was a dumb, drunk subversion that was the problem. Oh, yeah, Ben Kingsley
Yeah.
playing Ringo Starr, who was playing the Mandarin.
Yeah, the fact that
Yes,
he's not actually magic or whatever. He's just a big
Yeah.
fraud. That was a big rug.
I'm an
pull. That
actor
was-
who likes his drugs.
I think that was like
Hey,
the
love.
first. That was like the Armin Tamzarian moment of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
Where suddenly we're like, oh, these all can't be bangers, you know. Dark Thor, like the Thor to Dark World was like,
Dark
okay,
World.
this isn't good, but I mean it's not bad, you know. That was like when we started the second round was when we started seeing some kind of not great sequels.
I thought that was mildly amusing. Not the greatest, but it was amusing.
But it didn't do anything crazy like Iron Man 3 did, where they, you know, did that shit to the Mandarin, and that was when we realized like, okay, they're not going to be playing by the rules.
Yeah, for Iron Man 3, I was highly confused in the very beginning. I was like, wait, what? What? This guy's Mandarin? No, wait, he's Mandarin? Like, what the hell is going on?
Putin's cat says, I like the end credits from Iron Man 3. Refresh my memory. What happens?
Yes.
What happens there?
It's when Hammer was in jail, and it was a line from Justin. Justin Hammer and the Mandarin met in prison, I think.
Oh.
Something along those lines. It's been a hot minute.
Did they have prison fun time?
No, but he definitely did have a prison bitch attached to him at his table. I remember that.
Ben Kingsley's walking around with his finger in some dude's pocket, you know, like in prison.
I did like in I think it was Iron Man 3 where they did a callback and you see the guy who he was in prison with at a party, and he's introducing himself to Tony Stark.
That's Justin Hammer, isn't it?
No,
I don't know who Justin Hammer is.
in the first movie, the guy he was in prison with. And then in Iron Man 3, they show him again, but he's introducing himself at a
he
party.
said
And
Hammer.
Oh, you're thinking of
Hammer starts
Jensen.
dancing.
Jensen, thank you.
Yeah.
Jensen. I did like that callback. I liked that callback.
Oh, was Hammer, what's his name? Academy Award winner, Sam Rockwell. Is that who Hammer
Sam
is?
Rockwell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, he was dancing. I know the scene now. Thank you, Putin's cat. I remember.
Mm-hmm.
I also like one thing about the Iron Man movies is a lot of his Easter eggs make sense. Same with the callbacks; they make sense. This for Ironheart, I know it's just starting, but I don't like where it's going. Like I said, they put her in a corner that could either potentially leave her as a villain or someone who's like somewhere smack in the middle who has no morals about what she's doing.
Oof. Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
Well, you got to remember, all of these last two phases of the MCU have had in some way or another, especially with Spider-Man, just been, oh, look at Iron Man's legacy. Look at Tony's legacy and how we're going to shit on it.
Yeah, but
are you referring to Far From Home?
Like not Far From Home. Yeah, Far From Home. Yeah, like they totally
that was horrible.
That like Far From Home, but then and then Ironheart. They're just shitting on Tony's legacy, pretty much. The What If series had a bunch of jabs at Tony's and Howard's legacies.
But we're moving to this new like Fantastic Four phase, right? Is Ironheart even going to be like a hand down from that, or is she kind of going to be like a left behind? Like, are they even continuing with this route, or are they just totally like? If Fantastic Four does great, and it is actually all right, like, yeah, is it possible that they're just going to just like start from scratch, kind of, and kind of just not really?
Oh, they nerfed Thanos. They nerfed Thanos hard. Not just in power and ability, but in motivation.
They also didn't pay the creator of Thanos like fucking jack shit for him being like the main villain for like some of the biggest movies they've had.
Even before the Infinity Rocks, okay? Thanos could lift a large starship out of molten hot magma, shoot lasers from his eyes, create force fields, as well as do high-end alien science in laboratories. They nerfed Thanos' character to a bare bones, I need to make everything equitable storyline. It's so dumb.
Yeah. What were some other fun parts? The part that I loved was when the Hood's like, you're all the prettiest bunch of washed up has-been criminals I've ever seen. And then it just cuts to that group. And there isn't a single one. I think Natalie is the only one that I would fuck. Maybe the pyrotechnic lady with the nose piercing. But like, are you for real?
I mean, this girl, she's a bitch to everyone, even her own mom.
Also, he calls them the prettiest, which is like, I don't know. He doesn't say like the sexiest group of badass bitches I ever seen. No. He says, you all are a bunch of pretty little go-getters.
Including the dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Oh, and I love the two little The two little stocky lesbians that are the muscles. That's
I know, dude. And they just start
Bro.
whooping everyone's ass when they go on
Mhm.
that freaking. I'm like, yeah.
Like,
At least they weren't bodying them and lifting them up and slamming them. At least
True.
they were fighting a little dirty. At least.
they
but
just
it
pull
was
out knives.
so
They just stab people, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
they start
"Ah!"
slashing them up, and I'm
Yeah.
like, all right.
They just have guns, you know? That'd be fucking better, you know? It's just like, yo, we'll smoke you, man.
I mean, if they're
I could-
stocky, they can have big guns like, Spaz 12 shotties or some shit,
Yeah, I
something
mean, as
heavy.
obnoxious as the drag queen was, the thing is, all drag queens are obnoxious. So, I
Right.
mean, it's on brand. And the idea that a drag queen is a super hacker, like, I could buy that. If the drag queen was the muscle, I could also,
buy that.
I could buy the drag queen being the muscle over those two little lesbians, for sure. Like, because there's nothing worse than getting your ass kicked by, like, a fucking horrendously
queen.
gay man, you know? Like,
Right.
like kicking
Like,
your
take
ass and
that,
be like,
bitch.
get some, motherfucker. You want some? They're like putting you in a chokehold, like flipping you over, punching your kidney. You like that, Mr. Man? Who's the tough guy? Where you going? Where you going? That'd be horrifying. You're all bloody
I'm
and
the
shit.
queen
Stop.
now.
It's like 7-foot tall black dude, you know, in makeup. Get my stiletto up your ass, mister. It's like, holy shit, no.
F time, baby.
That'd be like,
That's A+ content.
that'd be like a great like
See?
bouncer. Like our bouncers are two fucking huge like trans like drag queen people, you know?
The
So
drag
that-
queens had
If
big
they
guns.
had some fun with this show, I could probably get into it, but they're trying to take it too seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not taking too. They're always playing it safe. Like they wanna pay tribute to these very niche classes of people, but they don't try to make fun of them just a little. People like to laugh at themselves, you know.
But how is that? The thing is, though, is that they're tossing in so many stereotypes that
Yeah.
how is that being safe?
Yeah, it's the safe stereotypes. Like I want to see the drag queen like snorting K right before she starts like on her. She's like hacking, like she's like high on ecstasy with like trance music playing in the van. You know,
they're
like
tossing
I'm
in the
feeling this.
stereotype of black people stealing, drive-by shootings. It's thugs, all that stuff. They're tossing that in, and it's kind of like
That's just to make it relatable for
Yeah.
the target audience.
I want the hood. He's like always out on the roof, like with the beer, like grilling, like always. All right, let me break it down. We're gonna make some chicken. I'm gonna fucking grill up some fajitas, man. You know.
I wish you would
Just
call
always
people
grilling.
essay more too.
Make it
I had
pastor.
I had a friend, compare Ironheart to Robin Hood, and now that I actually did an experiment. This is the last thing I did before I went to bed last night. Is I watched episode 1 of
I'm sorry.
Ironheart, and I watched episode 1 of Robin Hood with the Y, and I'm like, corporate wants to tell you the differences between these two pictures, guys. It's the same picture.
Yeah.
You watched
Same
the
picture. Yeah,
the
I
hood
was
version
like,
of Robin Hood.
I can't remember who, but he was like, "This is like Robin Hood all over again." I'm like, cocked an eyebrow, but then I made a mental note to like. So I was actually thinking about making that into a video essay. It's like these are oddly similar. Here's why.
Yeah, like I said, it's just like there's so much cape shit out there. It's just like impossible not to plagiarize on accident. You know, it's it's like The Simpsons. You know, they've done it. The Simpsons already did it. You know, Marvel already did it.
Simpsons did it.
We're
Simpsons
approaching
called
that
it.
point. Yeah, like that's the thing. It's like it's becoming harder and harder to come up with an original superhero story, especially in the comics. Like think about how many, there's like 100 years of comic book stories. You know, it's like try to do something that hasn't been done already. You know, it's difficult.
Good luck.
Well,
Yeah,
but
that
if
is
they're
tough.
gonna do it with the comics and stuff, I mean, at least try to do a good job.
Well, this is the way
I mean,
they went.
this is their. It's.
We
I find
saw-
it hard to believe that they're trying to do a good job. I mean,
No, I mean we know they aren't because it's not that they aren't. I am under the impression, the conspiracy theory that the idea is get these major motion picture companies to lower their stocks to such a degree that the Chinese can buy them. You know, just buy them for like a fire sale type thing. Like China will eventually buy Disney. You know, that's the only reason why I could think they're doing this.
Yeah, because
we
they all
know-
feel like filler content. It's just like
Yeah.
filler content. That's all it is. Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
feel like they're actually putting any
It's
heart
like
and soul into
watching.
it.
It's like watching an anime that but has tons of filler. And it's
Yeah.
so annoying.
So
I can't
literally
stand
any
filler.
shonen anime.
Well,
What-
like I said,
what
there's
was that,
so
hon?
many thousands and thousands of comic book stories to draw upon, and we knew that they were going to go this route when they started announcing the the next phases with all these woke modern characters that nobody likes.
Yep.
What's her name?
Like Fantastic Four, the female Silver Surfer character.
Not even. I'm talking about.
Look what they did
like,
to Johnny. The
Carol
hell? Johnny's
Danvers.
gay in that movie. What is this?
Yeah, he seems gay. I
He's
saw
gay.
something. I saw something today. I don't know if it was. You can't even tell if it's parody anymore.
I
But
know.
like, yeah, it was talking about how like
Well,
Ben-
as far as Disney goes, yeah, you can't tell if it's parody.
they were going. What I saw on fucking Facebook or whatever was saying that Ben and Reed, it hints that they had a previous like relationship, and then, and I'm like, no, but at the same
Motherfucker.
time, like I wouldn't be surprised.
The only thing about making him gay, it makes more sense now that he's flaming when he turns into his thing.
Yeah, like I was saying, hey, here's the thing. If you want to make Johnny Storm gay, that's fine, but he has to be still like
a playboy,
a gay
right?
a pussy hound. Yeah, just
Yes.
getting that pussy like all the time. He's
Right.
got, he has to be like
You just have to be
flamboyantly.
a man whore for men.
Exactly.
Yeah, still,
Yeah.
the
But
point
he
is
seems
the man whore.
so rounded
yeah,
off,
dude.
so like no sharp edges on him at
Dude,
all.
the more I'm thinking about it, it's of course the Human Torch should be flamingly gay,
Flamingly gay.
like flame
Drag
on,
queen
like
by night. Yeah.
he should be like Reed, you nasty man.
Now,
Like, I don't
Purists
like this.
probably remembers this short ran series from the 90s. Marvel Comics had this thing called What The. It was making fun of What If. It was just like satirizing their properties to the extreme. And this kind of content would fall into What The. Like,
Yeah, because they made Iceman
what if Johnny Storm was a flaming homo? That is
Right.
a What The comic chapter in an episode of What The.
But see, that works
Okay.
better than like Iceman being gay, because Iceman
Yeah,
being gay was like,
yeah.
no, because Iceman, he's got actual, relationships with female X-Men. He's he's got his thing. Also, Iceman I think is the most powerful, one of the most powerful, like characters in the entire MCU. He's very underrated. People don't realize like how dangerous he would be. But yeah, like making Johnny Storm flamingly gay, it's like the metaphor's right there.
Yeah. right.
Like why
There's just,
didn't
if you're gonna do it, go all the way, baby.
do it?
Please.
Don't
Yes,
be
do it.
scared.
Like don't
My
hint at
favorite-
it. Fucking do it.
My favorite ad in a What The comic was a one-page strip. It had alternative but affordable Stark armors, and it included the couch potato armor, which literally had its own built-in toilet, and potato chip dispenser on the hip, with the TV like coming out from the chest and pointing back at you. Then
Yeah.
you had like the punk rock armor, which just had like sleeveless spiked shoulders, and the mohawk on the helmet and stuff. Take this to your local concert, like, dude, man. If you're gonna do stuff like this, and I don't know if Disney will ever listen to us, but like, put some of this wackadoo shit that you're doing and make a What The series, because it's obviously a joke, a satire, a simile of its former self.
Yeah.
It needs to be presented as such, guys. At
What
least
happened-
then you might make a little bit more traction, a little bit more money out of it, because
There was the time when James Gunn was
Yeah.
super heavy in the Guardian stuff, and he kept hinting that there was going to be a fucking Howard the Duck movie. Where is the Howard the Duck remake?
where's that Howard the Duck
Like
film?
I was
Right.
actually excited about that because it's like, yes, all right, let's.
I
get
think the
silly.
most that they gave us with Howard the Duck from James Gunn was Guardians of the Galaxy 1 in the post credit scene.
Yeah, no, exactly, and of course I'm a fan of the original Howard the Duck movie, but
Same.
but like the Deadpool movies are obviously a huge hit. Why? Because they're so ridiculous, and like
Right.
also the other thing the Deadpool movies show you is you could do comic accurate costumes and it doesn't look silly. So this like fear of making comic accurate costumes with the X-Men specifically. I mean, I know with the Marvel stuff they got some pretty great, but the problem with the Marvel costumes it's all that fucking paintball armor,
Yeah.
I mean, one thing that they did with Deadpool and Wolverine is how they made fun
Yeah,
of the
totally.
multiverse.
Yeah.
I liked that.
And
Making fun of it.
It makes no sense at all, like how he pulls this mask on. Where's that mask been the whole time? But when he pulls it on, it doesn't matter. It's fucking dude.
Right.
We waited 25 years for the goddamn masks to come on,
The story was horrible, but the comedy was just so great you didn't care.
Right. Yeah, it was entertaining. So, I mean, I would rather have that than this pretentious, this pretentious try-hard crap,
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like you're saying, like get crazy with the stories, like really go there. Like if
At least we're getting a white Black Panther.
Yeah.
That is true. I completely
That
forgot
is something.
about that.
We are getting that. So they're doing it.
We're getting Ironheart, but in return, we're getting a white Black Panther.
Right. It's the trade-off. I mean, we have to accept it as a trade-off.
Yeah, from what I'm gathering is he's also basically a bad guy, and he's taken over Wakanda because
that's fine.
Yeah.
Let's go villain arc.
If we're gonna get a trade-off, then let's make her a bad guy.
Yeah.
They're making the bad guy the hero in her fucking series, and they're turning Black Panther into a bad guy. That's the trade-off.
Good.
He's a bad guy in her comics for sure.
They might as well just make her a bad guy in the series. Period.
Yeah.
Instead of just making a bad series, make her a bad guy.
They just flat out turn her into a villain. I think the people who watch the show would probably like it more.
We've been saying that for about 10 years. And yeah, exactly. People like charismatic villains,
Mm-hmm. A lot of times they're the most interesting character in a show.
She's still a whiny brat. But.
Yeah, Thanos, as Josh Brolin's Thanos, he's one of the highlights of the whole first few phases of MCU.
Because it's because he has this presence. And again, Thanos, though, when I think of Thanos, I think of somebody who is obsessed.
Mm-hmm.
I think of somebody who is completely single-minded despite his ability, talent, and power scaling. He's obsessed. Now, even if it wasn't to court Lady Death like in the comics, it could have been a similar level of obsession. Like, he could have had a better motivation than just watching Titans starve to death from overpopulation. They could have done something a little bit better. He could have been on a revenge quest or something else. But instead, they tried to give him this level of altruism that allows him to be charismatic via Josh Brolin. I will credit you there. But at the same time, it just makes him seemingly less of a threat. The reason why Thanos was such a threat is because he succeeded, but only after an epic struggle. Like in the comics, Captain America was like the first to the chopping block. He literally walked up to Thanos and he said the famous, "As long as I live and breathe, I will do everything in my power to make sure that you do not harm another person on this planet." And Thanos simply said, "As you wish," and backhanded him with enough force to just kill Captain America.
Yeah, also,
like, where's that Thanos? I wanted to see that on screen.
Well, even then, like every line Thanos has in the movies, it's great. Every line he has, especially in Infinity War, every line he has is like epic.
His character was charismatic without being a crappy charismatic character in the MCU, that is. If Ruby were to go villain, whether good or bad, her character has no charisma whatsoever, in my opinion. She's a very bland character.
Yeah, you know what I loved was when she was saying she's a complex creature because she knows the first few lines of Alanis Morissette's most popular song. Like, oh, I didn't think you were an Alanis Morissette. The thing about that fucking terrible song is, like, even if you hate it, you know that song because that song was literally everywhere. Like, come on. You ought to know right here to remind you of the mess you left when you went away. I don't even like that song, and I know it. Everyone knows that dumbass song. So, like, the idea that, like,
100 times.
It's like, oh, I'm a complex creature because I know the fucking this stupid Alanis Morissette song. No, that doesn't make you complex at all. It makes you a basic ass bitch, actually.
Yes, Sigvalison. Don't you think?
You ought to know.
Don't you think?
Yeah, that's another terrible song too. I mean, they're not.
Save it for your karaoke night.
They're not as
I'm
bad
not
as
singing
that
it at my karaoke
Four
night.
Non-Blonde song. I hate. I said, hey, that song drives me nuts.
I do the He-Man version when I sing that song.
Ugh.
With
just-
the Skeletor and Beastman lines.
It's
I
like
do it all.
it's just like the end of Hey Jude, or if you, it just overstays its welcome, you know.
Mhm.
Like the first verse, like the first chorus, like yeah, this is fun. I
Get you
said, hey,
started.
what's going on? But by the 4th or 5th minute, however long that song is, you're like, please wrap it up.
And he prays.
The MCU Tony Stark, it made an obviously extreme impression, a very good one at that.
It saved the studio.
Yeah, it saved the studio, and then on top of that, the actor they had for it was perfect, and also rejuvenated his career at the time as well. The actress for Ironheart, they could have picked a better one. Like you guys said, Natalie would have been a good choice.
Yeah, swap them.
They could have picked a better one. Her character, do I think will make an impression? I think it'll make a negative impression.
Mhm.
Whereas this one's made a good impression. Whereas Iron Man made a good impression. I think Ironheart will probably make a negative impression, but also be considered a very forgetful one.
Yep,
Yeah.
pretty forgettable.
Nobody's going to be talking about that, Ironheart.
I mean, even if she were to show up in Secret Wars or Doomsday or whatever, nobody's going to remember her.
Yeah, it's like when we talk about She-Hulk now, or the other one, the witch one.
Yeah, you
Whatever.
Agatha all along.
Agatha,
I can't even
we'll-
remember the name of it.
Right.
Yes. We were talking about it
Exactly.
in October. Like
we were just talking about minutes ago, and I couldn't remember. But it's like we only talk about like the bad ones. Oh, these are the bad ones because they don't matter. They're,
this
they're
is another
useless, filler.
This is another problem I have with like the scene, like Ironheart. We've been talking about Ironheart for like a fucking like 2 years now for their stupid show. And it's finally out, and we're going to keep talking about it. And then when the show's done, we'll talk about it for another month, and then it'll never be mentioned again. And it's just like, we just talk about this stuff less. You know, like I said, like with these terrible shows, like I said, I'd rather just wait till it's all over and just do one big live stream and talk about it all. Like I feel sorry for like, you know, we're going to be breaking down episode by episode of insert terrible show name here weekly. We got to do a weekly stream about this awful show. It's like, guys, please, like, you know, I don't know.
Content.
The thing is, so is that
Yeah,
if,
it's
if that
content.
show is so bad, then by the time the season is over, they're going to do that. People are going to be like, what are they talking about? What show is this?
Yeah, so this one's only 6 episodes, right? It's 3 and then 3 more drop. That's it. So that's good.
It's great.
At least it'll be over in just 2 shots.
I was relieved when I heard that. I was like, oh, thank
Yeah.
God. It's not 10 episodes long.
The
It's
Avengers
not-
Well,
Broadway
question is, will they
show,
give
God.
it another
A
season?
second season. They're gonna, for sure. I
Yeah,
think
because it's like a posturing thing. Like if it
Yep,
gets canceled, like the 1% of weirdos that run the internet discourse, they will be upset. Or at least they act like they do. That's the thing, is they run Reddit. So because they run Reddit, the movie studios think that this is what we got to do because the people on Reddit are saying it.
Yeah, I feel like they sometimes like go second season just out of stubbornness. Remember they gave like Velma? No, what was it? Yeah, Velma a second season. Like, how do you do that? No one liked that. It was terrible. So I mean,
Because
I
you
feel
don't
like
want to hurt.
sometimes
You
they're
don't
like,
want to hurt Mindy Kaling's feelings, basically.
right? Yeah, she's so
that was
talented.
a self-insert. That was a damn right. That
Oh
was a,
God.
She even said
has
so.
never
She
made
even
anything
said so when she was doing the show. She said, "I've always wanted to be Velma, so I figured this is the best way to do it."
Man.
I
the worst
hate
version.
the character Scrappy, but when he killed her in the show, I was like, for once, I actually liked the damn dog. For once, I actually liked him.
Yeah, so the Ironheart thing, I was looking up, like, how long it's been. So it was supposed to release in fall of 2023. That's how long it has been delayed. Yeah,
crazy.
fall of 2023. And then they had the SAG-AFTRA Writers Guild strike
Yeah.
that pushed everything out more. So, I mean, yeah, and then it had reshoots and rewrites. I mean, it's such a mess. And they've reshot and rewritten it. That, like, man, this thing, I wonder what it looked like before the reshoots and rewrites. And it's this bad now.
It's
So
probably better. I mean, we'll
yeah,
see. They always change it for the worse.
Yeah, I guess last year, February through April, they were doing reshoots and rewrites. So it's been a year. So it's just been in post-production for a year, huh?
Man, I don't know. I mean, I understand the special effects; they take time to make, but and the thing about these Marvel shows is, like, it's shocking how much is computer animated. Like,
yeah,
the traffic.
Little things you don't even see.
Soviet cat says Mindy need treadmill. She's not that old. Maybe she has lost weight. Good for her.
Oh, Mindy Kaling, yeah, maybe.
Now,
Every time I see Putin's cat, and I was like, I have to, like, put on this shitty fake Russian accent when I read his chant.
Yeah.
if you had to pick, obviously, a character that you prefer, obviously, well, Tony, I obviously know who you're going to pick.
We asked 100 Americans who would win, Iron Man or Ironheart. And
in a fight,
just who wins? Period. In a fight, yeah, who wins?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, this is a silly game.
Listen, we asked 100 Americans. The survey's on the board. There's 2 answers, okay? All right.
Obviously, Ironheart wins because you can't have anything bad happen to her. Otherwise, the studio will be decried racist.
Survey says 1. It is the second spot with 1 answer. Do you want to play or pass?
I'm gonna go with Iron Man. Chat.
Yeah. Survey says that is the number 1 answer with 99.
I want to know what chat has to say.
1 versus 99. What? Yes, Enzo was the one guy.
You guys clearly don't understand. Ironheart totally would win. She has plot armor. It's the best type of armor.
I think Zalosi nailed it on the nailed it.
Yeah.
DI shield.
Riri, the 1%er. That's right. I'm so glad people got the joke. I just made it up.
You guys,
it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I used my Family Feud noises. See? They're getting dusty. Come on.
Something else
still work.
When Riri Williams was first introduced in like 2014 or 15 was like her name, Riri. Riri is clearly slang for retard, right? Am I the only one who used to call people Riris?
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I feel like
Rewar,
retard.
Quit being a Riri. Yeah, we used to say that all the time. In fact, I think my stream Sunday is going to be the Riri stream, and it's going to be that. I got Grok to make a picture of my avatar with Down syndrome. It's fucking hilarious.
That'll be a good thumbnail.
Let's see if I can pull that up. Actually,
I gotta say, no, I highly disagree. Sig, I highly disagree. His suit is far better. I think Tony's suit.
Hers runs off solar. And win.
The one that she stole was not her suit. It was a suit that was developed as an example piece to the mechanical implications of an Iron Man armor to be used in class. She stole a prefabricated unit. So, of course, that prefabricated unit is going to have some compatibility comparisons to older Stark armor.
She thought that she deserved it because she made it, and this Riri reparations there.
Tony,
Riri reparations.
Yes. Yeah.
Riri reparations.
Oh, that's why she got the suit. That's why they didn't actually come for it. Like, she stole the suit. They know she had it, and they never came for it. They
You know,
never came.
you know, I'm remiss to the scene in Iron Man 2 when Fury looked at Tony and said, "Brother just came into your house and took it? You're Iron Man, and he just took it."
Tony, embiggen me, make me bigger.
Yeah, sure.
Slowly at me. All right, so this is
Do you
my
need a
avatar
drum roll?
picture. No, this is my
You're getting
avatar
one.
picture. This is what Grok. This is what I told Grok to make me look like someone with Down syndrome, and this is what it gave me. Are you ready? Here it is. It's amazing.
Hey,
Did
now.
a good job.
Technology.
This is why we have AI.
Yeah, bro.
Hey,
That's
now.
why.
Well, we have reached our 90-minute.
Yeah, we're
line.
actually
So-
at 98 minutes as of this notice stop.
Yes. So, Jay, let's start off with you. What you got going on?
Well, we got daily content rolling out. Thursdays and Sundays are live shows. Thursdays 4 p.m. and Sunday is 10 p.m. And these are all Eastern Standard Time, of course. But yes, constant. I'm doing pretty good. We're getting the content out there. The book is still coming along. We're through chapter 8 now, working on chapter 9. Still got a little ways to go, but that's coming along pretty solid. Other than that, follow me on X. It's JayViper TV on X. That's where to be. There's the Losi with the link. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Zalosi, one of the mods with the most. Enzo, Stupenzo, what you got? What's
Thanks
coming
for
up?
having me. Not much. I think I'm gonna go to a show tonight, and then tomorrow
Drag show.
after Gooch Gang, we'll do Tales from the Dork Side on my channel around midnight. So midnight Monday morning, Sunday night. We're gonna do the re-stream. We're gonna get retarded and watch a bunch of weird crap. We're gonna watch a bunch of AI stuff. We'll talk about Ironheart and a few other things. That'll be fun. I'm excited. We got a lot of weird, hilarious, like interdimensional cable to watch thanks to the AI stuff. It's getting pretty fun. Where we're, you know, if there's nothing to talk about, we'll just make stuff to talk about. It's pretty fun. So I'm excited.
Like
And then
those Will
yeah,
Smith videos of him eating spaghetti.
yeah, we'll also try to watch an episode of Baywatch Nights again. We'll try to cap off every stream with an episode of Baywatch Nights. Tune in. Yeah, check out the movie we watched last week, the Baywatch movie, Hawaiian Wedding. It was insane. I understand why Baywatch was a worldwide phenomenon now. I'm a big fan now. I'm going to start watching it religiously. That said, I think this week's movie is Carnosaur 2. Because Jurassic World's coming out, and me and Sammy watched Carnosaur 1 about 11 months ago. So it was very bad. It was worse than Carnosaur 1. So full-length commentary for that.
Yeah.
Tony, hon, you're up next. What you got coming up?
This thing.
Hi, this is Alf here, and I thought we were going to be talking about something important. Yeah, a commercial. That's right, a commercial.
Oh, that's right.
A commercial. Hi, this is Ginger Wolf.
Hi.
She's our resident Black Widow over the Stark and Iron channel, where you'll find parody, songwriting, voice acting, puppeteering, and a heck of a lot more. Maybe a little pole work, maybe a little fire eating. Maybe, just a little bit. Just a wee bit.
Just like enough to add like a little spice to the pot.
A little spice to the hot. How do you like your chili? Do you like your chili hot?
I eat little peppers.
I like my chili so goddamn hot you can cook a hog's ass with a spoonful.
So you be like me?
Oh yeah, just like our great Ginger Wolf thing. That's right. So check out the Stark of Iron channel, where yeah, Snow Dub wanted a commercial of us. This is what you get.
Yeah.
We're totally cutting the last bit.
And I will not be available for Cotton Council tonight. There is not a Startcast or Saturday Matinee tonight. I'm taking a bit of a break from constantly being live to catch up on a few backed uploads. But I will make it up to you all for our 4th of July celebration this coming Monday, which won't be on the 4th, but it will be a Stark party to make up or the lack of live material that I will have going through this weekend. We'll see you cats.
As for me, things have been a little bit crazy going a bit. I haven't been doing the barcade like I should be, but that is because I am currently looking for a new place to live. Not successful on that one. But nevertheless, I'm still going to be giving you guys a podcast. So next Saturday, we will have Toasty with the Mosty. So be sure to check it out then. And the weekend after that, we'll have even more guests and more and more and more and more and more. I got you guys covered this summer. So stick around for PAWCAST every Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central. Thank you guys so much for coming on. And I hope for you guys to come on again sometime soon. And everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful night.
Thanks for
Bye, have a
having me.
wonderful time.